Hi guys, so I'm going to start by just walking you through the series that I'm going to set up, which will kind of explain how this stuff works in detail so that you can actually see it in action, right? Seeing's believing. So anyway, you guys saw from the last video, or you already know, how when you go into a themed HTML website, you can download the feed file. And the feed file has tabs in Excel. And those tabs cover everything on that website. Now, on a single website, right, it would be that row. Like for instance, this row is row 3, and that's for 24hourgaragedoorrepair.com. So that means going across the tabs, everything on row 3 is for 24hourgaragedoorrepair.com. Okay, so this is more of that website, 24hourgaragedoorrepair.com, and then here's more of 24hourgaragedoorrepair.com. And you keep going. It's all that one website going across these tabs. So it's the different sections of that website that happen to be running across these tabs, right? Why the different tabs? They really help us organize the stuff that we want to put out tab by tab and handle them in sets, okay? For instance, don't you think it would be easy to deal with all your testimonials if you had them on a testimonials tab? Yeah, right? And by the way, let me just come back to the beginning. What do we have here? We have another website is the next row down, row 4. So all the row 4 entries are for activegaragedoorcrew.com, okay? And so on. So if you take a look, we have 100 websites here. It's row 102, but that's really 100 websites because the top 2 rows, of course, are these, the headers. Okay, so that's 100 websites right there, all for Garage Door, which we auto-generated in 3 hours and 20 minutes. Okay, so now we can take the rest of the day to just go and improve things on all the pages. Okay, and that would start with concepts like improving things on these pages that deal with those websites, improving things on this page, these pages that would deal with those websites, and so on and so forth. Now you might look and say, I have no idea what I'm supposed to improve upon here. And that's just simply because you don't, if that's true, it's because you don't know how to read this yet. Those of you that already have themed HTML, you can read this. You understand what's happening here. You know what each of these pieces are. Okay. So as a matter of fact, I got to figure out how to do these things one at a time. So just let me roll through these different videos where I do different things, and you'll put it all together. I don't even think there is a clear order. It's just they're all different prongs that point into getting the whole job done. So let's say this. What if I were to peel these tabs apart into different Excel files completely, and I just dealt with the tabs individually? That way I don't have to upload everything every time. Like take a look. The global variables tab is pretty big. It has columns and 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 columns. There's a lot of data here, okay? 259 variables, which require 3 columns each. So there's like 800, on this page times 100. That's 80,000 cells of information just on this page. Well, what if I want to make changes to this page and upload, or changes to this whole thing and upload it for these 100 websites? Do I have to upload, those, how many was it again? 80,000 cells too in the process? And the answer is no. I can separate these tabs out. The one thing to keep in mind is no matter how I separate them, I still have to have my first tab there on every one of those files because it's that first tab that specifies all the websites. So let's just explore the rest of these two things dealing with this first tab. There's, as a matter of fact, you can do this. You can highlight the whole thing, double click here, and it'll stretch everything out to the right width to cover so you can read. Theme name, okay? The default theme in this case is called banner. That's for the full width banner kind of website. Okay, so we did 100 of those when we created these garage door repair websites. The other main template concept is called blocks. It's banner blocks. Okay, so the theme name for that is called blocks. Okay, now if I create variations just to keep track of them, I'll probably number them and stick with the same base theme so I can keep track of which is which. Banner 1, banner 2, banner 3, banner 4, banner 5, or blocks 1, blocks 2, blocks 3, blocks 4, blocks 5. By the way, We've stuck with those two main themes because they are totally versatile. You can flip on or off anything in any combination. They pretty much reproduce any other website out there that has to do with basic information training. And let me cover that just real quick. Long time ago, we decided two templates are universal for most things, okay? Because when people come to the website, they are looking for information. They are not trying to be bedazzled by design. If a plumber says, I want an artistic website, we usually try to talk them out of it. Maybe he'll be pleased by the artistic website, but we have to get him to understand his visitors coming to the website are not going to be happy if it's artsy, but they cannot find what they're looking for right away. They want function. They want to find what they're looking for right away. That's true for every program, basically. Any affiliate program you can think of, any MLM program. Sure, you want it to look nice, but you don't want it to be artsy. You want it to be functional. Most websites you want to be functional, unless you're in the art business. Then you probably want an artsy website, or you're doing it for display purposes because you need that. But for our cases, most businesses, either banner or blocks is the way to go. And usually either one is really as interchangeable as the other. It's just down to preference at that point. So we do most of our work on banner because that's how you convert most visitors to the website. It's very simple, very clear, gets right to the point. And since most of our websites have the purpose of somebody seeing it and either calling a phone number, filling out a form, maybe watching a video first. Maybe they'll do some reading, maybe they'll go through some pages, but most of that information is really there for Google, so that Google can rank all those pages for the different keywords. Like for garage door repair, people aren't reading it. They're not reading the website. Google's reading the website. Google's deciding where to rank it. People are looking at the website, maybe watching some videos and calling a phone number. Very few cases are going to fill out an email form. We don't really want people to fill out an email form, so we almost hide it. We're trying to get people to call, okay? Now, if they do fill out the email form and send it in, we still get credit for that. There's a source on the email form whenever we're doing it that way, okay? Of course, you can use these websites for whatever you want, but there you go. Now, the whole point is we want to be able to put all these websites together. So we went to, you could say this is how this was done, except now we have a better way. You could say what we did was go to the websites, log into each one at a time, download the feed file, and we put all of them in one big folder. And then we use a tool that we call Master Feed Form. And what it does, when we hit it, it says you want to concatenate all the feed files together, obviously. So where do I look? And you just specify the folder and it goes, okay. And it pulls all of it together and creates this one big file out of it. So anytime this stuff looks like a ton of work, it's not, trust me. And now we auto-generate all this stuff. I did not need to log into those panels and download these anymore, and you won't either. You'll basically never log into an admin panel at all, like ever. You can create 100 websites, and you can make them all different. You can edit them, change everything about them, and you won't even log into an admin panel. How's that for crazy? But that's what I mean. You can do all of this without ever logging into an admin panel. You can edit all your websites from a simple console. It's kind of like playing a piano in your room to create all the sound. You're playing the piano of your 100 websites and you're making them ding any which way you want. And you never had to log into a single one of them. You can change the images, resize banner height. You can flip sidebar from one side to the other, decide the order of items to show per page, how many to show per page, decide to add images, take images away, change fonts, change font sizes, change color schemes, add pages of new content, create more subdomains, whatever you want to do. And you never have to log into an admin panel to do it. And you don't even have to do it on a single website at a time. Every move you make in here, like every file you open and work with, can edit 100 websites at a time or 1,000. And they don't have to be in the same industry. I could have 100 websites here for garage door repair, followed by 100 for locksmith, followed by 100 for something else, and 100 for something else if I want. I can keep going. And as long as the information's organized going across the page, okay, then all those websites will be handled appropriately. Okay, finally, what's domain type? Okay, domain type is a column we manually added. When you download the feed file, it does not have that column. Delete. Looks like this. So we insert that column, right? Call it domain type, and then type a 1 here or 1 here, highlight them both, drag them down. And by the way, why do you do that? Because sometimes when you just type a 1, okay, and you drag it down, it auto numbers. It goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not in this case, but just to make the point, say I did it 2, right? This is how easy it is to do a lot of things in Excel. Most people just don't know it until they do it for the first time. But it's extremely easy to handle the differences in Excel, the things you want to do. All right, so anyway, domain type means if I upload this one file with all my changes to it, do I want those changes done to all of the websites right now or just some of them? Maybe I want the change done to every other website. Whichever one I want is got a 1. Otherwise, it's got a 0. 0 means do not make these changes for this domain. So it will not do anything on that row, which means it will not do anything here, which means it will not do anything here, do anything here, right? It'll leave that website alone. That means I can make changes to some of the websites or just one. I can fix something without having to create a whole new file just to get only those 2 rows all the way across all the tabs, right? I can use the whole file, but I can say 0 for everything except for the couple of websites I wanted to change, and then 0 for the rest, okay? Just so you know, it works that way. All right. Oops, cancel. Now, here we go. So let me just go ahead and make that 1 again because we are going to make changes the next time we do this. Now I want to forget about that. Okay, just drag it up and drag it down. Okay, boom. There, got all fixed. Anyway, there you go. There's the beginning concept. One file that has a row for each website. And then when we split it into different files, we're just going to have subdomains tab, or this list, subdomains tab, we call it, subdomains list, subdomains tab, that's a tab, and the tab that we want to work on. Okay, another file will be like subdomains tab and this tab. Another tab will be like subdomains tab and this tab. If there are a couple of tabs that go together, and there are, like image category, image gallery, and we want to work on those, we're not using them right now for the garage door repair, so we haven't done anything with them. They say locksmith services. They don't need to. But we would have what? We would have our subdomains tab and those 2 image tabs. No other tabs. So yeah, we can wonderfully work with just the tabs we want. That makes it easy because then we can keep our flow chart in order. Take care of all these things first, then these things next, then these things next. Okay, so all right, enough for this video. Go ahead and take a break, get some coffee. Let's do something. So in the next video, we're actually going to change. If you're seeing these videos in the order, I think I'm going to put them in a playlist and they'll play in a certain order. I think the next video then is going to be where I change a bunch of passwords and security keys on all the websites at once, and you'll see that. All right, very good. See you there.